You can execute brilliantly while feeling absolutely nothing. And because you are so good at it, no one knows you're running on fumes, including you sometimes. So when you finish something significant, your first emotion isn't pride or satisfaction. It's relief that it's over. You are not celebrating the win. You're recovering from having to show up for it. And you are not dreading specific task. You're dreading having to be someone while actually executing those tasks. The version of you that has to show up on Monday morning feels like a costume and you're exhausted from wearing. Hello, hello, and welcome back to Brilliance Unleashed, when we go deep and we don't fear. We are going bold here on the issues that really matters for high achievers, for introverted leaders, for you, my dear listener. And my name is Anna, and I'm your conscious leadership coach. So today, we're going to talk about the performance trap and why your team thinks you are thriving while you are barely breathing. So let me paint a little bit of a picture here. You nailed that presentation. You got the notes. You got the great work Slack message that just came in. And the second you closed your laptop, you felt nothing. And maybe even the relief that it's over. But definitely not pride. Not that buzz of energy that it used to be. It's just you done the job. And if that kind of landed with you now, and you felt that in your chest, so I can tell you that it's not you being tired. It's you performing. And there is a massive difference. Because today I want to expose the performance trap that's keeping high achieving leaders like yourself um, looking successful on the outside, but actually quietly collapsing on the inside. And it's more importantly, I'm going to show you how to tell the difference between leading and enduring. And again, let's go back to that picture. And you're in this leadership meeting. Someone is presenting. You're nodding at the right moments, making notes. Your face is, I'm tracking this. But your nervous system already checked out 10 minutes ago. And there is a specific expression you make. And I call it polite interest with dead eyes. Your team sees engagement. You know you're enduring. That's the performance trap. And performance is when your external competence is divorced from your internal experience. You can execute brilliantly while feeling absolutely nothing. And because you are so good at it, no one knows you're running on fumes, including you sometimes. So when you finish something significant, your first emotion isn't pride or satisfaction. It's relief that it's over. You are not celebrating the win. You're recovering from having to show up for it. And you are not dreading specific task. You're dreading having to be someone while actually executing those tasks. The version of you that has to show up on Monday morning feels like a costume and you're exhausted from wearing. You're objectively good at what you do, right? The metrics prove it. Great. But there is a zero emotional resonance. You are mastering the role while losing connection to actually why you are in it. And here's what happens when you stay in performance mode for too long. Your nervous system starts treating leadership like a threat. Every meeting becomes something to survive, not lead. Every decision requires twice the energy because you're operating from depletion, not alignment. And eventually, your body forces the conversation you've been avoiding by shutting down entirely. And I can tell you that you are stuck because you are good at this. If you were failing, the decision would be easy, but you're actually succeeding. So leaving feels completely irrational, ungrateful, even, right? But let me tell you something that maybe no one tells you before, that being good at something you are outgrown in the most expensive place to be, because it looks like success, but it has cost you everything that actually matters: your energy, your presence, and your self trust. Yes. You build your identity around being that person who can handle all of that, the reliable one, the high performer. And now that identity is very thing keeping you trapped, because if you stop performing, then who are you? Let's start reframing that, because leadership from presence looks completely different. It's not about performing competence, it's about actually embodying that authority, not surviving meetings, but stewarding energy, not proving you belong, but deciding you already do. The leaders I work with who make that shift, well, they don't suddenly do more, they do less, but from the completely different place. And that's when their impact actually multiplies. So here's what I want you to sit with. What percentage of your leadership right now is the performance versus presence? And if you're honest, and we really praise honesty here, and you felt that chest tightens earlier, you already know the answer. So let me invite you, because I create something specifically for this. It's called Brilliance Map, a diagnostic tool conversation that shows you exactly where you're performing versus leading, where your energy is leaking, and what your next move actually needs to be. And it takes 45 minutes of your time. And I promise you that clarity you get from it, it will be worth way more than the time you spend on another strategy that doesn't address the real issue. Link is in the show notes. Click it. Let's have that conversation, and let's put you in that present mode, because your nervous system telling you it's time to a different conversation. And this 45 minutes definitely will be that different type of conversation. See you there, and see you in 2 weeks, my dear audience.